Good morning, everybody. My name is Richard Cottrell, and I live on the Amjinuk First Nation here in Sarnia, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. And my last drink was April 29th, 2012, more than 10 years ago. And I suffered a life of alcoholic addiction, along with some other addictions to pills and different other drugs. But alcohol was my main drug of choice, and my alcoholism got me in and out of jail throughout my life, and in and out of trouble. And I was not able to stay out of jail because of my drinking, because of the activities that I got myself involved in while I still practiced alcoholism. And I was imprisoned in more than 18 different correctional facilities throughout Ontario, including 4 penitentiaries. And I am not proud of that. I am not proud of that lifestyle. I'm not bragging or complaining about anything. What I want to do is share my lifestyle with you and my life. How I stay sober, how I recovered, and hopefully somewhere out there I can help somebody else. Because I just may understand how you feel. And one thing I'd like to encourage is you have to begin to love yourself first before you can love others in your relationships. And what I mean by that is, if you love yourself, you won't be putting dangerous drugs and alcohol or any other man-made synthetic drug into your body. Now, another thing I wanted to say is that I still practice marijuana. I use marijuana as a recreational medicine and as an alternative to my drinking, and it helps me in all my everyday life. What I do is I do different ceremonies by myself. I spend a lot of time with nature. I'm more in touch with nature now that I don't drink anymore. And part of my recovery also is Oreo, my dog. He's a 8-year-old Jack Russell Pomeranian, and you'll see more of him in my videos. So I want to start this channel, and I want to invite you all to continue watching my videos on the different letting go of the different cycles of violence and alcoholism that we practice in our everyday affairs while we're still using, and how we can overcome jealousy and those sort of things that affect our relationships, jealousy and sexual abuse. We need to also deal with these personal things that weigh us down, these secrets that we keep, and there are ways of dealing with these things, and it doesn't always have to be something that we have to hold on to. There are professionals that are willing to help others. The way I'm willing to help others is sharing my experiences and giving my advice when it's needed. By the time I was finished my criminal career, I had racked up about 100 convictions, and I'm not proud of that either. And this was due to the different choices that I made while I was drinking. And they are choices. We make that choice to stay in an abusive relationship or to go to jail. And our choice is either we do it or we don't. Either we pick up a drink or we don't. And that was one of the biggest choices I made in my life. Was I had to make a choice, and you have to make that choice as well. If you're a recovering addict and if you really want to let go of drinking and you don't want to drink anymore, and before you learn to love yourself, you make that choice. Do I want to live or do I want to die? There's two choices, and it doesn't take no Einstein to figure that out. And I decided that I wanted to live. And April 29th, 2012, I ended up in jail and in the hospital at the same time. And in that time, I was involved in an abusive relationship with a woman as well. And I'll talk more about abusive relationships and dealing with sexual abuse, that sort of thing, as I go along. And because it all has a lot to do with that residential school, all those cycles that were passed down. My grandfather was the one that was my legal guardian. I was raised by my grandfather here on Amjinuk First Nation, and he was in the army, and he was also in the residential school in Brantford, the Mushhole Residential School, the Mohawk Institute. And so he brought a lot of those cycles home with him. And I took a lot of those characteristics on in my relationships and practiced them as well. And so part of recovering also from alcoholism is letting go of the past and letting go of those different things that those core beliefs, those that we carry in our lives, like jailhouse beliefs and jailhouse codes. We have to let those go. And those different cycles that we were raised around, we need to become aware of them in order to overcome them. What I'll do is I'll show you a little bit of my artwork. I started doing portraits while I was inside of jails, correctional facilities like Guelph Reformatory, Sarnia Jail, Collins Bay Institution. This is where I started getting lots of time to practice doing portraits. This is the Chiefs of Amjinuk series that I just recently completed. And these are not all of them, but some of the chiefs from our First Nation here on Amjinuk. These were all Chiefs of Amjinuk at one time. And I did one carefully each month or so for over a period of about 2 or 3 years. And these were, I donated to the community center here because I wanted to leave a legacy, and I wanted the future generations to have some enjoyment in our culture here on Amjinuk. And this is some of the artwork that I do, that I practice today. Keeps me out of trouble. And my dog Oreo, my therapeutic dog. Also my teddy bear and my security blanket. And so I've had Oreo for 4 years. He's 8 years old. He's a Jack Russell Pomeranian. And we began to live together in Toronto, and that was just before I came home, and I brought Oreo here back to Amjinuk with me, and about almost 4 years ago now. So he's really become a part of my life and my reason for staying out of trouble, along with helping my community. So this is some of the artwork that I do. There are different forms of art that I do, but this is something that I have on hand that I wanted to show you. This is the dream catcher that my cousin Alan Joseph made. He's also from Amjinuk. He's a very well-established artist as well, and he does a lot of dream catcher work. And so we have a lot of talented people in my family and on our Amjinuk First Nation here, as well as other First Nations. So I want to bring you a series of videos that's going to be helpful to others, and so we helpful to others so that we can work together on our addictions and our problems in our cultures and our First Nations, these epidemics that are taking over our communities. So we can make an adjustment in that by becoming aware of these cycles of violence that were handed down and that are not ours, that we can let go of, and we can teach others to let go of. And like I said, I still use marijuana as a medicine, and if there is no other choice, I would encourage marijuana as a medicine, as an alternative, just like cigarettes and tobacco, and but if you're trying to let go of addictions, don't try to do everything at once. Don't try to quit coffee and stop drinking or stop smoking cigarettes and stop drinking pop. Do all that eventually on your own. And so I'd like to thank everyone once again this morning for joining us, and my trusty friend Oreo here, and he will become a part of our daily routines that I'll be showing you the different stuff that I do, and how I'm living here on the First Nation, and how I practice my culture. I'll show you how to paint, or how I paint, and how to get canvases ready. And while I do that, I'll give these teachings on stuff that I learned along the way, and getting my culture back in jails and in prison, of all places. And so I lost my culture to the government, and I got some of it back from the government, but it's not the same. So we need to teach others about these cultures, and to respect our ways here as First Nation people, because I'm not a believer in the church or the gospel or any of that thing, or any of those things. And to me, once I learned about my culture and started practicing my culture, it was I knew that was what I was missing, and it wasn't the church. So I'd like to thank you all again, like I said, for joining me, and I hope to see more of you. Thank you very much. Miigwech. That means thank you in Anishinaabe, Ojibwe.